we're back on the wall at Ocean Rock with more on rock climbing. Bob, why don't you go through briefly now what is involved in a typical climb?
Well, generally, you've got your partner, and both of you will gear up. You'll put on your harness, your shoes, refill your chalk bag, and then go through the equipment that you're going to use. Like a rope, you'd flake it out, check it for cuts or abrasions, wear. A lot of times you keep a diary of your rope. And so once a rope hits a certain age or a certain number of falls, it's discarded. Then you check your anchors so that if one guy weighs 150 pounds and the other guy weighs 250 pounds, if one guy falls, preferably the heavier one, the littler guy isn't going to go flipping up into the air. So you generally check everything. And then once you've got yourself tied in, meaning the rope to a harness to the other belay device to who's ever actually protecting the climber from falling, then goes through the safety check. And what you do is you want to check everything. You want to check every buckle, every knot in the rope, check your anchors, and both partners constantly check each other. And that's really where the safety comes in. And that's why education is really so important in our sport. I mean, once you know it, and it becomes second nature.
Now let's take a look at some of the equipment we have here, and this is really what a typical maybe climber would need.
The harness basically keeps you upright. It also is what the rope's attached to, and you, so this becomes a real key feature. If you had to take a fall with a rope tied around your waist, it would not only hurt, but it would cause other complications. So the harness becomes something that is both for comfort and safety.
Okay. Now we see these special shoes. They almost look like, I don't know, I want to say wrestling sneakers.
A lot of people keep asking that. The climbing shoes today are a lot different from the boots and tennis shoes and army shoes that guys used to wear quite a bit for climbing. The shoes today are made of a special stealth rubber, as it's called in the industry, or a sticky rubber. So it literally, you can almost walk up the wall using your hands on holes and your feet without having any. The other parts of the shoes, they're designed a little differently. They fit a little tighter so that when you put your weight, for example, on a toe, the bottom of the shoe stretches and puts really your weight where it's needed, because you may be putting your shoe on a small hole only about 1/4 of an inch or 1/8 of an inch. And this shoe will help keep you there without slipping off.
Okay, which could be a big problem. Now, I noticed all your climbers have one of these devices as well as some chalk. They keep putting their fingers in a little basket, and I guess that's what it's all about.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the chalk. The chalk, like in gymnastics, is really to kind of keep the hands dry. Most of us perspire at some point in time with our hands, especially as we get a little more nervous. And the chalk just helps to keep your hands dry so that when you do put your hands on a hold, that hold isn't as slippery, helps increase your gripping power, and especially your holding power. And in our business, sometimes that may be all you have is a few fingers sitting on a ledge. The second piece of equipment that you were talking about, and I'd mentioned it before, is a belay device. And this acts as an automatic brake, and it can hold literally thousands of pounds. And what it will do is automatically come down and lock the rope off so the person falls no more. And generally, when most of us fall in a top rope situation like here in the gym, you're only going to fall 1 or 2 feet. The other piece, the carabiner, this one happens to be a locking carabiner, which we require for everyone to use when belaying, holds at least a couple thousand pounds. It's made to hold the belay device and the rope and hook into the harness. So again, you become an integral part of the anchoring system. Once it's closed and locked, it now no longer can open. So they do the job. They give us the added protection and safety that we need. And
they look pretty or handsome or whatever.
Well, it's real important to look cool on the rock.